Hi everybody, this is a video which has been brought about by a couple of other videos which I've watched recently and they've been on sex positivity. I'm somebody who considers themselves to be sex positive. What sex positive means, to me at least, is that you respect people, whatever their sexual preferences, not just their gender preferences, but how they want to have sex, or indeed how they don't want to have sex. It's absolutely fine in my book for people to have sex with as many people, however they want, whenever they want, wherever they want, as long as it is legal and consensual. And that ranges from normal, as it were, kind of missionary sex, all the way up to full-on BDSM or other kinks, and whether that's with one partner or a group, or even on their own. But the videos I've watched have quite rightly pointed out that sex positivity kind of leaves out a section of society who don't make those choices. And there's a range of reasons why you might not be able to make that choice. You haven't got the power to do so. You haven't got the resources. You haven't got the social standing or the rights in your territory or country or some other way. A classic example of this may be sex workers who, okay, they may do it as a choice, you know, it is their choice to go and do sex work, but they've been pushed into it because they need the money, because maybe they can't get the well-paying job and they're in a place where they need a good amount of money to live. Maybe it's a choice they wouldn't have made if they had the ability to have a job in an office. Although sex positivity doesn't judge people for being sex workers, in fact, you shouldn't judge somebody for being a sex worker, even if they've been forced into it or if they're taking a choice or whatever. It is their choice, and if it is safe and legal to do so, there's no problem, surely. And let's be clear about this, it is legal to pay for sex, it's just not legal to run a brothel in the UK. Although it absolutely could be argued that well-run brothels are much safer places for women to provide these services than just on the street corners. So by the same token, not only should we not judge sex workers themselves, we shouldn't judge the clients, whatever their gender, by the way. We're not talking about just seedy men, as it were. There are many, many reasons why people might want to use a sex worker. And not all of them are actually about sex. Sometimes it's about self-esteem, about just even trying it for the first time. So that's less about sex itself and more about getting your first one out of the way. Let's remember that for men in society, being a virgin is not great. And actually that nicely leads me on to why sex positivity should also encompass people who haven't had sex yet, because they haven't been able to. You know, they might want to, but they just haven't been able to. You know, the luck hasn't fallen in their favour. Particularly for men, it's something which society thinks that you're not a man until you've had sex. But there should be no shame in being a virgin. It may be even your choice to be so, whether that be not have sex before marriage or just literally not have sex at all. Some people say that it's easy for cis men like me to be sex positive because we have the social capital that means that we can go around and say that, you know, we enjoy sex and all the rest of it. That is true. However, I find that being truly sex positive, which respects other people's choices as well, is something which is actually hard for a cis man to do because of their social pressures. And in some ways this is just about respecting their partners and respecting women especially. But perhaps somebody's sex positivity is different to other people's, but matches up with everybody else. So, for example, yeah, okay, maybe it is easy for a cis man to say that they are sex positive because they're expected to have lots of sex. But do they respect the choices of their friends who aren't having sex before marriage? Are they respecting the choices of their partner, their female partners, who don't want to have sex in a certain way? They don't want to have anal sex, for example, or something like that. And that's what I think sex positivity is all about, at least what it means to me. Because you can throw it about all you like, you've got the biggest libido in the world, but if you don't respect the people who don't want to do that, then in my book, you're just rude. Perhaps you'd like to tell me what your definition of sex positivity is in the comments, what it means to you. I'd actually be quite interested to hear what you think, and I shall be replying to those comments, saying what I think of them as well. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then give it a thumbs up. You can do that just down below. I make videos every single week, so you can subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and I shall see you next time. And actually that leads me on quite nicely to why sex positivity should also